Welcome back into the Rounding Third podcast. I'm Nick, and we got Sean and Harrison, and we got a special guest from the SOS podcast. We got Matt tonight. How are we doing, guys?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be over here on this side. You've been over to us a couple of times, and we had the other guys over, so this is nice. I'm glad to come over here.
Yeah, we're pumped to have you. The other two are playing hooky. One's sick, one's working, so I guess it's a good excuse, but
it's unbelievable. I mean, these guys, get paid to come to work and they don't show up,
Yeah, right, exactly. Sean and Harrison, how are we doing tonight?
Good, man. I'm looking forward to this one. This will be a good one.
Yeah, this is awesome. This one, we are doing the crossover tonight because this is going to be our friendly competition with awards predictions, standings predictions, everything predictions about the upcoming MLB season. Morgan sent his picks into me, and then the other Nick sent his picks into Matt. So he'll read off Nick's, I'll read off Morgan's, and then we obviously have our own as well. So yeah, let's dive right in.
So is it safe to say we can absolutely ridicule the two guys' picks if they're not here?
100%.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
No holds barred. I love it. All right, let's roll.
All right. So first on the docket, we are going to do division winners here. So let's start in the AL. We'll start AL East, I guess, because we all know who's in the AL East, and that's the big division in our neck of the woods. So who has you take Nick's first, Matt. Go ahead.
Nick's AL East pick is the Toronto Blue Jays going north of the border. That will have some influence in a couple of his other picks later, but yeah, he's going with the Jays.
I mean, yeah, I feel like that's Morgan's pick too, Blue Jays.
I guess to keep it simple, did anybody not pick the Jays?
I did not pick the Jays.
Oh, okay. All right, there we go.
I went with the Red Sox because I'm a homer, and I'm just expecting an absolute plethora of offense added story to that lineup that was already really good last year, and hopefully towards the end of the season doesn't dry up again. Having another bat in there. Obviously, I know pitching's obviously a huge question mark for them, but I don't know. It's more of an optimism pick.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I feel like the Blue Jays right now are like everyone's shiny new toy. Like they just want them to do good. They want, but
I just don't know. I don't know how you get that lineup out.
Yeah.
But I feel like some teams can outslug them. I don't feel like they have the knockout pitching. I mean, adding oh my God, I just drew a blank. Who did they get from the Twins at the deadline last year? Righty.
Barrios?
Oh, Barrios.
Yes, Barrios. Thank you. Holy smokes. And then they just got Kikuchi from the Mariners in the offseason. Kikuchi. That's a funny name.
I mean, I'm with you. I think Toronto will be tough. I think it's going to be. I mean, Tampa's going to be up there. I know you guys like to shit on Kevin Cash and all that, but I mean, the boys play for Kevin Cash. He gets those guys to show up night in and night out, right? And that's a team that year in and year out, you look at the roster, go, yeah, they're young, yeah, they're talented, but can they put it together for a whole season? And then they do. And then they win 95 games and they win the division. And yes, they get bounced early in the playoffs. I get all that, but I think it's going to be. I think it'll be the three. I think it'll be Toronto, Tampa, and I think Boston will be up there. Boston, the question mark, is the pitching. But similar to Toronto, I think both teams have scary lineups, particularly the middle of the lineups. And then both teams, you look at their pitching and you're just like, I don't know. We'll see how the pitching comes through. The Sox, I think, is a little bit less certain, a little bit more of a question mark than Toronto's.
Absolutely.
But I do think, I will say this, though. I think Boston has a leg up in the manager. I think Alex Cora is the best manager in the division.
And that's kind of where my brain is at, too. I think the boys play for Cora. Honestly, like you were saying about Cash, I really think these guys love playing for Cora. And Adam Story, too, it's fresh blood, and they got off to a hot start like they did last year. It's good stuff for them.
For sure. I mean, and I know it doesn't really lend much credence to the regular season, but Trevor Story had his first in-squad at bat today against Evaldi, and he hit him opposite field gap for a triple. So pretty good start to spring training for Trevor Story.
Not bad.
I mean, the Red Sox may have the best infield in the AL East. That's probably the only thing they've got the best of.
It might be in MLB.
Yeah, it might be in baseball. Yeah, for sure.
The outfield after that's going to be okay. The pitching rotation has got big question marks in it. The bullpen is also got big question marks. So I mean, I think for the first time maybe in the last few years, you don't have like a clearly definitive number one team in the AL East. You've got 3 or 4 really good teams that all have questions. But I think when you look at that division, I think that'll be the Blue Jays that end up as the last one standing because they've got that lineup that will the runs they score will cover the sins of the rotation. I don't think the Yankees can combat their weaknesses. I don't think the Red Sox can quite combat their weaknesses. And the Rays are one of those teams that's always in transition. You just never know what you're going to get from them. So I think you have to give it to the Blue Jays, but I don't know that it's slam dunk.
Yeah, and I agree with you.
My pick's Tampa Bay, simply because Tampa Bay's proven that they can do it with that manager, with that kind of talent. And let's not make any mistake. Wander Franco's an animal. He's going to carry that lineup as long as he stays healthy. Shane Baz, I know he's a little injured right now, so he's going to start the year on the injured list, but Shane Baz is an animal. I mean, this kid's he's a potential rookie of the year kind of guy. McClanahan's. I mean, so they've got talent. They know how to drag it out and win 90, 95, 96 games. They've proven that they can do it this way. So, I'm riding with them until they prove they can't, or until another team in the division proves that it's theirs.
So Matt, just to give you fair warning, Santa gives us a lot of grief on this podcast.
I mean, I grew up with him. I'm used to the grief from Santa Claus.
Here I am wondering if Ken just equally hates everybody, and it sounds like there's some background here, so that's good. I'm glad to see that.
I was gonna say I actually lived with them for a couple of years, so I've heard it all, man. I've heard
just
it all.
Just don't mention war around him. It goes south fast.
You mean wins above replacement?
That's the one, right?
Oh, that's what it means.
Yeah, damn. Where were you 2 weeks ago?
So AL East, almost everyone picked the Blue Jays except for Rays and Sox for Matt. I mean, I think the Yankees finish. I don't even have them in my wild card spot. We'll get to that later, but they strike out way too much. That even getting Josh Donaldson, you're adding another 170 Ks to your lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the 170 Ks. You're adding a third guy in the middle of the lineup that gets hurt a lot.
Right.
Right. Like now you have 3 middle of the bat lineup guys who are all injury prone. So good luck to that.
But they're saving grace. They do have a platinum glove winner in right field, Joey Gallo.
Yeah. Seriously,
I can't. I just can't.
I can't either. All right. I think this next one is also going to be consensus. I mean, this division is terrible. This is the only team that can it's the AL Central. I got White Sox. I think everybody got White Sox. Yes? No?
White Sox.
But
you didn't take the Twins and Carlos Correa?
No.
I'll take
the
White Sox.
Yeah.
I'll take the White Sox, but I think Detroit makes it closer in September than people want to believe right now in March. I think Detroit's really good.
You think Erod and Baez makes that big of a deal for the Tigers?
Well, those two guys by themselves, no. But they got some young talent. They got this Riley Green kid who is kind of overshadowed from Spencer Torkelson, who's this power hitting first baseman that's coming up. This Riley Green kid's an outfielder, nasty. And he hits bombs too. So they got some young kids coming up. I think AJ Hinch, I know we're going to hit him on the cheating. Really good manager. I think AJ Hinch knows how to manage teams through a long 162 game season. I don't think they win the division. I think Detroit makes it close in September and challenges for one of the wild card spots, though.
Are we talking like Mariners close when they're like 9.5 out, but they're like third back from the wild card spot? Or are we talking like one or two games out of the wild card spot?
I think in September, I think the beginning of September, Chicago pulls away with the division, but I think Detroit's playing meaningful games in September to push for a wild card.
Okay, that's fair. Indians, no go.
You mean the Guardians?
No.
Guardians, same thing.
Yes, the Cleveland baseball team.
No.
The Cleveland Baseball Club. Excuse us.
No, sorry, baseball club. Yep.
Brutal. The Washington Commanders. That's the worst, dude. I can't get off here with that.
Yeah. No, see any other team. I mean, Kansas City is terrible. I think Minnesota. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what Correa was thinking. So I think
thinking money,
it's
man.
really a one-horse race.
Yeah.
I know. It's a one-horse race, but I do think Detroit, is there-ish in the end. But I think it's Chicago.
And the sad part is the White Sox may have a worse record than the wild card teams, but they're going to win that division probably easily.
Yeah. What is it? The NFC, like, was it when the Seahawks won like 6-9 and they won the division?
7-9.
Yeah.
7-9.
7-9.
I honestly, I feel like MLB shouldn't even give them a pennant or a banner for winning the AL Central. Like, that's not even worthy of a participation trophy, because it's pitiful to be the, it's like being the tallest midget.
Yeah, for sure. All right. AL West, this one could get kind of interesting for people's picks here. What did you guys have over on the SOS side?
So for Nick, the AL West, he has the Astros, and I also have the Astros.
Morgan also has the Astros.
Just the pedigrees there, it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Same.
Go ahead, Harrison.
I got the Astros too. I think the Angels are going to be better than we think, and I think they're going to be close. But I think the Astros, I don't see anybody else give them any kind of run for their money. And even losing Correa, I think they're still going to be fine.
Yeah, I want so badly for the Rangers to have made all those moves, and I want so badly for the Rangers to be relevant in the AL West. I don't know if it's this year. I mean, they didn't make moves just for this year. Like, they signed guys to years down the road. I think this year for 22, it's Houston until someone else in that division steps up and takes the division. It's got to be Houston's. I don't think it's going to be Texas this year. I'm hopeful though, but I don't think.
I agree. I mean, adding John Gray in their starting rotation helps.
Yep.
I mean,
absolutely.
Obviously,
the two middle
Seager,
infielders.
Yeah, Seager and Simeon, that obviously is huge. Adolis Garcia with another year under his belt. That guy's a monster too. I think they're on the right track, but I think you're right. I think we'll get into it. Well, actually, let's just jump into it right now. So I have the Astros because of everything we just said, but wild card spots here. I have the Red Sox, Rays, and I have the Rangers. So I actually have the Rangers making a wild card spot, but maybe a quick exit is my guess.
Interesting. Yeah. So for the wild card, I took the Yankees, the Rays, and the Angels, because I think the Rangers are still probably a year, maybe two away from being a real serious contender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's too much banking on the Angels because you don't know what you're going to get with Syndergaard. Yep. There's just too much there. But
you're looking for Trout to come back, Ohtani to continue, Rendon to continue, Syndergaard to give you something. Like, I mean, I think the Angels, assuming they get good seasons out of three out of those four guys, I think they'll be in wild card contention. If they don't get big production out of Trout, and another big season out of Ohtani, I don't think they probably don't sniff 500, but I think they've got the opportunity. And Joe Madden, for whatever reason, that guy seems to figure it out.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not a Joe Madden guy. I think Joe Madden is such a blowhard. I mean, this guy I will give him credit to say that his last couple of years in Tampa Bay, he was kind of ahead of the curve, if you will, with like heavy on analytics, right? Like, he was the first guy to shift a ton against David Ortiz, and he was one of the first guys to do the, starter by committee type of thing. Like, he was first and he had success. But then when the rest of the league caught up with him, I mean, what's he really done since? He hasn't been able to get on a level playing field with teams that play the same way, teams that have similar amount of talent, and figure it out. Like, I've yet to see that. So I don't know. Maybe I just don't like the guy, so I'm holding that against him.
No, I hear you. I mean, I don't like Joe Madden, but it does seem like when you think that guy can't figure it out, he somehow does.
Fair enough. I mean, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, I do think they're close. I had the same as Nick. I had Toronto and Boston as wild cards for the AL East, and then I did have my third one was Detroit. So I do. Am I frozen, or is it just frozen on my side?
No, you're
good. You guys have
you're good.
So I'm just frozen on
I can hear you, Randall.
And thank you. And I have Detroit because I think for the same reason why we think LA is going to be in it in the West. Yeah. That division is a joke in the AL Central. So I do think Detroit is going to be able to figure it out and pile up a ton of wins when they play in division. And then it's about just getting above 500 and figuring it out against the rest of the competition. But you're going to get your wins in that division.
I mean, that's a great point. You're going to get 60 free wins against the Twins, Royals, and whoever the other the Guardians, Indians club thing.
The club. The baseball club.
Exactly. So you're going to get
club.
60 free wins there. I mean, really probably 45, but yeah. How about you on your side? Wild cards on your side, Matt?
Wild cards for Nick. He has the Sox, the Mariners, and the Athletics. No explanation on the
Athletics.
Yeah,
the Athletics. They traded everyone away.
He's believing in Billy Bean, apparently. I don't know. I'm not here to defend his picks, My wild card teams, I got the Jays. Like you guys, made the point, win the division. They probably do win the division. That lineup is just too good. I have the Angels as well. And then for my last wild card team, I have the Rays. Just because year in and year out, they'll put up 90-plus wins, and it's just kind of what they do.
Yeah.
I will say I do think it's going to be difficult. I think we all consensus had 2 American League East teams is getting 2 of the 3 wildcard spots. And the one thing is contrary to what the American League Central, the AL East is going to beat up on each other. Like it's just going to be a division of just like, you're just going to split games. You're going to split your 12 games against the Rays. You're going to lose 8 out of the whatever to Toronto. Like it's going to be a division that beats up. So at the end of the year, like those losses could matter when it comes to seeding, because you're going to have a team like Detroit who gets all those essential free wins, against Kansas City. I don't know. It'll be tough. I still think it's going to happen because I do think the talent in the AL East is just that much better than the rest of the American League. But I could see it get to a point where it's like, hey, 90 wins, ain't going to get it done. I don't know.
But it sounds like we're all in agreement that NC State just did something. And, and also that we've got – so it looks like we've got three AL East teams.
Hold on a second. Hold on. What did they do?
What? I think we're a little ahead of you because we're in North Carolina. But
I'm not watching it, so.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't caught up to them on my phone. I don't know. My wife's going nuts in the background, so. All right. So, anyways, Morgan has the Rays, the Yankees, so 2 in the AL East again, and then he's got the Rangers as well. Morgan's never wrong, so I would go with those 3.
Sure.
Yeah. Interesting right there. Little YouTube thing.
Yeah.
Anyways.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. You make a great point with the AL East, like completely just kicking each other, the whole entire season. But yeah, I mean, Detroit's a good pick there. But all right. So that's AL. We'll move on to the NL here. Morgan's pick to start. We have for the NL East, he's got the Phillies. So he's a believer. Castellanos and Schwarber went deep today in spring training, so they're off to a hot start.
Really quick, I was going to say Nick also has the Phillies. Did you guys see that Castellanos during a Blue Jays broadcast for the apology of their pitching coach getting a DUI, hit a ball like for a single for his first Phillies hit? I mean, you can't. This guy, anytime someone's doing a eulogy, someone's doing an apology for a slur, this guy's making plays.
It was amazing.
He's hitting the ball.
It was amazing.
His timing's impeccable.
His first home run, to that point, Matt, his first home run that came today, I was scrolling through Twitter. Excuse me. And there was like the clip of it, like the network, whatever Phillies network had put it on. And then someone quote tweeted, I was dying laughing. They were just like expecting Will Smith's apology for what happened last night to come through any moment because Nick Castellanos just hit his first home run. I was like, that's actually really funny.
That is hilarious. I mean,
yeah, it was very good.
That call by Brenneman it's my favorite all-time sports call ever. It's just
and I'll tell you, all the time. It's so good.
Every time I see it. It gets me every time. People make jokes of it. It gets me every time.
I will watch it the whole way through if I see it, just like even a snippet of it. Because I was like, it's just the funniest thing. You hear the pause in his voice, and he goes, "Do I do my job or do I continue the apology?" And that's a deep fly ball to left center field. It just it kills me.
I felt so bad. I mean, he never should have said what he said. I get all that, but like, his whole he was trying to make a sincere apology, and he just made an absolute ass of himself, and he made it like 10 times worse. Because then it wasn't even a sincere apology. Then it was just like, well, they forced me to do it on the air.
Hey, he prides himself and he thinks of himself as a man of faith. Okay.
Oh my goodness gracious! All of it was incredible.
That being said, my NL East pick, I have the Braves.
All right, repeat.
I think they're riding the momentum, and it's all these picks that I have. Obviously, it goes into my awards and stuff coming up. So I have the Braves winning the NL East. Excuse me.
Nice. I mean, that's solid. They signing Eddie Rosario back was, I think, huge for them.
Big.
And picking up Matt Olson, knowing that Freeman wasn't coming back.
Correct.
And Acuna.
I feel like
Acuna is coming back for a full year, hopefully.
Acuna later this year. I mean, and I actually feel like when the season's over, Olson's going to end up being an upgrade to Freeman. When you compare the two of those guys side by side stat wise, I feel like you're going to see Olson really flourish in Atlanta. I feel like Freeman is not going to be the same guy in LA.
Yeah, I could see that.
So I feel like the Braves actually upgraded with that move. So I also have the Braves winning. I actually think the Phillies are the third best team in that division.
Wow.
Right.
I think the Phillies. I got the Mets. Sorry, Nick.
Naturally. No, go ahead.
I get the Mets. I'm a Met. Everyone knows I'm a Mets fan. I'll take the Mets, but I do think the Phillies will be tough. I think the Phillies, that lineup is really, really good, and I think the lineup is going to play well. And I think Schwarber, that's not just a good ad, but a good ad to play 81 games at Citizens Bank Ballpark. I think he's going to rake in that ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Phillies will be tough. I just think the pitching staff that the Mets have, as long as they stay healthy, it's a huge if, because I know DeGrom's history. And even Scherzer's 37 years old, all that stuff. And I think with the upgrades that they made offensively, bringing in, Mark Canha's no joke. He's not, the best hitter in the American League, or he wasn't even the best hitter on that A's team, no doubt. But he's an upgrade from what they had.
And he can play everywhere.
I think he can play. I think Starling Marte is going to do really well. And again, Michael Conforto is still unsigned. And the longer Michael Conforto remains unsigned, I could see him coming back to New York, even if it's not for an 8-year deal or a mega deal or whatever. But dude, baseball's in 10 days or whatever the hell. We got to figure out.
Quick 1 year, 18 mil or something like that. Come on back.
You can't take it. You're not Ted Williams. You can't take a year off and then come back and hit 406. So if he takes the year off, he's done, right? So he's got to sign somewhere, and he's got familiarity in New York with. So I don't know. I'm rambling about the Mets, but I think the Phillies. I think the Braves are the third best. Go ahead.
Did Conforto way overplay his hand here, or just way overestimate his value? Why is he still not signed?
I think it was a way. I don't know. I mean, I only know what I see on Twitter and all that. So obviously I'm not involved in it. I think he overplayed his hand. I think he wanted to hit the market because I think he thought he was going to set the outfield market. And he declined a pretty lucrative. I'll have to look up exactly what the terms were, but there was an extension offered to him by the Mets at the end of last season that he turned down. He wanted to hit and go see what he's going to get, and he's the last big name out there. He hasn't signed, so I don't know.
I have the Marlins. The Marlins are going to come out of nowhere. I don't.
You don't. You're embarrassing yourself.
But I mean, they do have some pieces that are coming up too. In that division, I don't think they're going to be, they're not going to compete, but whatever. I have the Mets anyways, so I'm going to stop.
I'll say this about the Marlins real quick. And this is a segment called Say Something Nice About the Marlins. I'll say something nice about the Marlins. The only time the Marlins have been successful is when they buy players from other teams for 2 years, and then they sell them back off, and then they're irrelevant again.
Yeah. I mean, we've already talked about it when they had Yelich and Stanton and Ozuna and Echeverria and JT Realmuto. Everybody's sleeping on JT Realmuto. He's probably the best catcher in the league and also on the Phillies. Just to let you guys know.
Yep.
I mean, offensively, the guy rakes. Anyways,
I think the Phillies will mash. I just don't. I think their pitching's loaded with questions, and their defense might be the worst in baseball. They don't have a single guy in the field that can move.
True. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, their games are going to be home run derbies.
Yeah, that's the only way they're going to win. And as we've all seen, watch the Yankees the last decade. You can't win that way. For
you can win games, but you're not
long term. You can't. Right.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So everyone got their picks in there. Did I say Morgan's? Yeah, I started it off. Okay. NL Central. Matt, go.
Nick has the Cardinals, and I have the Cardinals as well.
Those are 2 solid picks.
Yep.
And they
Nick,
just
you go.
signed Albert Pujols back.
I
Yeah,
know.
Oh,
Yeah, they did.
The machine's back, baby. You know.
and he announced his retirement. Like
I
in
mean-
that press conference, he said, "This is my last year."
Yeah, of course.
did he?
I mean,
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he said he's
I'm not
done after
surprised.
this.
I didn't hear that. I'm not surprised.
He's played 22 years. That's
that's
crazy.
insane.
I mean, and in reality, if we're honest, he was done like 3 years ago, but he kept playing because that contract was a monster.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Dude.
why wouldn't you?
I was 16 when Albert Pujols was a
Yep.
rookie. That blows my
That's
mind.
crazy.
That blows my
insane.
mind.
Dude,
Um,
Albert Pujols broke into the league. I didn't even have type 1 diabetes, Nick. I wasn't even a diabetic when Albert Pujols started playing baseball. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is so
Shit.
long ago.
Wow.
Right? I did.
Wow.
I had it for
Anyway.
5 years at that point, but
Yeah, you did.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny.
anyways, that's 2 weeks straight we've had diabetes related stuff. So
I know.
you're
This
welcome.
is talking diabetes.
I'm feeling left out on this panel now.
You have a cousin that has diabetes. You're good.
That's true. I do. You're right. It's in the family.
Morgan from SOS also has Cardinals. I mean, I think that's the kind of
Interesting.
overall pick there. But I went with the Brew Crew. They
Yeah,
can't
you
get out of the first round of the playoffs or the second, like that hurts. It really does. But Corbin Burns, Freddie Peralta, their
Woodruff.
starting rotation is disgusting.
Mhm.
And
You got 2 Cy Young candidates at the top of the rotation, and then a perennial, or soon basically a guy becoming a perennial All-Star in Peralta in the 3 slot. I mean,
Yeah,
I
who's
took
the
the
other one I'm
Brewers too.
missing?
Woodruff. You're thinking about
Thank you, Woodruff. Thank you. Yeah,
you got
I mean, those
3
two
stud
ones.
arms that are.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I picked the Brewers too for that. That pitching is going to carry them a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
not
so
out of
I
the
had
first
the
round at
Brewers-
the next point, but
I had the Brewers too. I so badly wanted, like a month ago when the lockout was still happening, I was like, I so badly wanted it to be the Reds. I wanted the Reds to make noise in the NL Central. I wanted them so bad. And then they go ahead and they just get rid of everybody. They've got the rookie,
Yep.
last year's rookie of the year in Jonathan India, who was like a legitimate baseball player, like really good, and he's only getting better. And then they just trade away all the pieces around him. Like, how can I,
Yeah.
in good conscience, pick the Reds right now? I can't.
Right.
Maybe
Dude, the
they'll
Bat
prove me
Boy
wrong.
even got traded.
I'm sorry.
The Bat Boy even got
Oh,
traded.
the Bat Boy. Yeah, I think I'm a little delayed. I'm like, what are you saying? Yeah, the Bat Boy. Yeah. Yeah, I got the Brewers for that reason. I think the Brewers are going to be really good. I think I'm going to have a bit of a unpopular pick on one of the awards here, but I do think the Brewers are going to come through. I think it's their division to lose.
Absolutely. But I mean, that Cardinals and Brewers race could be tight down the stretch. I mean, it
Without
could
a
be
doubt.
really-
and
if Jack Flaherty comes back and stays healthy for the Cardinals,
Yep.
that guy
Animal.
is filthy too. Yeah,
Animal.
gross.
yeah,
I mean,
I
could
love
hit
I love the
whatever.
Cardinals. I love the Cardinals. I just think they're like one piece away from being a really legitimate dominant force in the NL.
Definitely.
And unfortunately, it ain't Albert Pujols. Sorry.
No. They need someone like Nolan Arenado at third base or like Paul DeYoung to have, a good year at shortstop.
nice, yeah.
Something like that.
Yep.
But yeah. So here we go. We got NL West. Who do we got? This one hurts me to say.
I mean,
it's
Agreed.
It's the
Yeah.
Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
Yeah.
it's.
Oh, are we
It's-
picking
I
bottom
wanted-
of the division up?
Yeah, bottom up.
Okay.
No,
I mean, I
Dodgers,
think with
I mean.
no Tatis, I think San Diego has a real uphill climb for a little while.
Yeah.
And I think with the talent that the Dodgers have, and then the talent they added with Freddie Freeman, like it's going to be tough to be in that division and get out to a slow start because the Dodgers, I don't think, will get out to a slow start. So it's
No.
you can't be 12 games back at the end of the first month and then expect to be able to climb your way out of it because I just think that team is so good, so stacked.
Yeah.
So it's LA.
See, I think the Padres are kind of like the Blue Jays for me, as in like they need to prove themselves before I start calling them good.
Mhm.
They have all the pieces there. They have the pitching. I mean, you got Clevenger, you got Yu Darvish, you got Blake Snell, you got Dinelson Lamet. I mean,
What? But what the hell happened to Blake Snell? Like, where'd that
he's
guy go?
actually my anyways, that's
Okay.
later.
I will say this about the Padres. I do think getting Bob Melvin behind the bench or on the bench,
Help.
good move for them.
Absolutely.
I think he's a very good manager, and I think he will help them. I still don't think they're winning the division, but I definitely think they're in the. I mean, they're one of my wild cards, but I don't think they're getting that division.
Yeah, I agree. What did you guys have on that side? You have Dodgers too?
Dodgers. Too much talent.
Yeah. And
Gross.
the
Too much
Giants aren't
talent.
as good as
It's
they were
just-
last
and
year.
they've done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the Giants won the division last year, right? They were at 109,
Yep.
but do they
Mhm.
repeat?
No.
They
No.
lost, they lost Posey, lost Gosman. They've made some nice additions, but that team will not be the same team.
You don't think I can't with my wife yelling in the background. This is awesome. You don't think Carlos Rondon replaces Kevin Gosman's numbers
No.
in San Francisco?
I
No.
do. I think Rodon has an awesome year. I think he wins a Cy Young. He's my Cy Young guy for the National League. I think Rodon has an awesome year. I just think with the moves the Dodgers made, the talent that the Dodgers have, the pedigree that the Dodgers have, the postseason experience that the Dodgers have. What's up?
Nothing. Go. I'm nothing. Go.
Oh, I thought
Keep
you
going.
were raising your hand to interrupt me.
It was enjoy.
okay. Oh, okay, I got you. I think
Yeah.
when we get it, I think San Francisco's going to have to win 115 games again. I just don't see that happening. That's a lot of
I agree.
baseball games to win.
Yeah.
I think they'll do good. I think they'll do really well. I don't think they win the division.
Yeah.
No, agreed.
Did I say Morgan's already? I think everyone's got Dodgers across the board, correct?
Dodgers.
Okay. NL wild cards. This one's a little interesting. I think we might have some difference of opinions here, but Morgan's got Mets, Brewers, and Reds. He's got the Reds. Like, what the hell?
Reds.
You ready for this? Nick's got the Rockies, the Reds, and the Braves.
What?
Wow, he is high on Chris Bryant, huh?
And hey, they want to talk about them, being the baseball savants, and they got the Reds
I
in
was-
the wild card. I don't know.
I
Hey,
was just
you
gonna
know,
say, you called those guys the baseball guys, didn't you?
not me. I didn't say that.
Jeez.
Goodness gracious. Dude.
Wow.
The Pittsburgh Pirates have a better chance to make the World Series than they do the wild card spots.
Yeah, correct.
Goodness gracious.
I have the Mets. That pitching staff is just way too good for them not to get a playoff spot. I got the Brewers in the Central, exact same thought process. It's too good not to get one. And then out west, I got the Giants, so I got one in each.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one in
solid
each
picks.
too.
Yeah.
I have one in each too. I have the Padres out west, the Cardinals obviously flipping with the Brewers because I have the Brewers winning it, and then I do have the Phillies in the East. I do think the Braves are one of those teams that the Braves were fine last year. The Braves, I don't even think they won. I think they ended up with 89 wins, right? 89. I don't think they broke 90 wins.
Yeah, 88.
You know, they
right?
got hot at the right. Yeah, 88. Right. They got hot. They played it. They played well at the right time. They were awesome in the postseason. Great story, fun team to watch. I just don't see the Braves making the postseason this year. I think that division is too tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting here. Brian's got two coming out of the West. That's
Padres,
I
Giants, Braves.
could definitely see that though. I could
Totally.
absolutely see that.
I think
but
if
I
the
think
Padres pitching is on, they have a legit
Yeah.
shot.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I think
So-
the NL West is going to be like the AL East. It's just teams are going to
Yeah.
beat up on each other. The problem is I think the teams in the AL East and also the teams in the NL West are just going to steamroll everyone else. So I could easily see 2-3 teams coming out of the NL West because they're all winning 90 plus games because they beat up on each other and then they just steamroll everyone else they play.
right. I think the underrated trade at the deadline was Adam Frazier from the Pirates to the Padres. That's going to
Yeah.
slide over probably at shortstop with Tatis absence.
Yeah.
And then you put Cronenworth back at second. And then, you're not going to, unless you're Nick Arno, you're not going to take Fernando Tatis' spot.
Right.
It's hard to clearly. You're just not going to get that offensive production. But Frazier's nice to put there. He's still a great
Helps cushion
average
the blow
guy. He
for
gets
sure.
on base.
Yeah.
It helps cushion the
Really good.
blow.
I'm
Absolutely.
disappointed for the Padres because I think with Bob Melvin coming over there, if you had Tatis for the year, I think that team would have been dominant to have all those pieces together. They finally had like the right mix, and then to lose him for a few months, I think hurts. But my wild card picks, I've got the Mets, the Phillies, and the Cards. I think you're gonna same thing in the NL as the AL. You're gonna have 3 teams making the playoffs out of the NL East. I think the Giants and the Padres aren't quite there. I still question how much of Tatis you even see this year, because risks are always tricky for these guys to come back from, especially these guys that are, have that kind of bat whip that he has in his swing. That's going to be hard on a wrist. So, I'm going with 2 out of the East.
I got the Bravos, the Phils, and the Gigantes. So Braves, Phillies, Giants.
Okay.
Yeah. I would love to put my Padres in there, but I just, again, like I said, they're like my Blue Jays. They gotta prove themselves first.
Yep.
All right, so those are our divisions. Who do we got for World Series matchups?
Who's going first?
I'll do Nick first. He's got the Blue Jays versus the Dodgers, and he says in parentheses, "Good guys win, Jays."
Okay.
All right.
So
That's exactly what I have.
Okay.
there you go.
Interesting.
Wow. Okay, Sean, who do you got?
I have the Sox and Dodgers. I think the Sox go from wild card. I think here's my thing about the American League, particularly the American League side of the bracket, if you will, when it comes to the playoffs. I think again, we've talked about the Blue Jays got to prove it. They got to prove that they can get in. They got to prove that they can win in the postseason. They're really the only other team that has proven in this past 10 years that they can consistently win in the postseason is Houston. And I do think Houston gets in there. But the Red Sox have had really good success against the Houston Astros in the postseason, particularly.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think Corey does a really nice job managing. I think he knows how to attack the hitters. And I'll tell you, not having Correa, I think, is going to come back to bite them at some point, probably in the postseason, because I do think their division is that weak that they're just going to roll through the division. I think the Sox have the experience. I think the Sox have the manager. And I'm a homer, so I'm going to take the Red Sox. I'll have them beat the Dodgers, even though I do think the Dodgers are probably a more talented team. I don't think that's a reach for me to say. But if you get that far, give me the Sox. Ken's picking the Red Sox. All he does is dump on us for picking Red Sox.
I was
going to say, I have the same World Series. I just have it reversed. I got the Dodgers beating the Red Sox. And then honestly, that's going to upset Nick way more when the Dodgers have a legitimate World Series championship over the Red Sox.
Oh, I hate it. It makes me want to throw up.
It is.
Although I feel like if the
that's
Red
a
Sox
really good
went
team.
and got
The Dodgers-
Steve Pierce, if the Sox went and got Steve Pierce out of retirement, they win that series.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve, we need you for 7 games and maybe like around 20-ish at-bats. You got it in you? Sure.
Yeah. Dude, we'll pay you $30 million. I don't care what it costs.
Yeah, 4 for 24 dingers right there.
Morgan's got the Phillies against the Blue Jays.
Oh, okay.
So that's
I would actually like that matchup. That would be a fun one to watch.
That's right. Ken just picked the Red Sox and he called you a homer too, so that's perfect.
I love it. I love it.
Listen, I love Morgan's matchup as long as Castellano hits one deep to left center field.
Oh, absolutely.
So I got a rematchup of the 1986 World Series here.
Ooh, I love it.
Red Sox against the Mets, and we lose the same way. It goes right underneath Bobby Dahlback's legs, and
I'll tell you this much: I might have to root for the Mets if the Mets and Sox meet in the World Series. I mean, I've seen the Red Sox hoisted 1 billion times. I gotta see the Mets do it once, right? Like, I gotta root for the Mets.
I mean, the one thing about the Mets is Jacob deGrom, right? I mean, he's the X factor here. He's got to stay on the field. And if he does what he says and he's going to opt out, we're going to see a full season out of Jacob deGrom.
Yep.
I think so too.
I don't think they shut him down.
No.
I think Buck Showalter made no bones about the fact that they're really going to start him slow. Like, he's got the nod for opening day on April 7th, and they already put a 75 pitch count on him for the first 3 starts, I think they said. So it's like they're really going to stretch him out. They're really going to start it slow. Have you guys seen any of the highlights though of him in spring training? He's disgusting.
Him and Scherzer, both of them.
It's not right.
It's not fair.
It's not right.
Thomas Naito, their backup catcher. Thomas Naito made a joke because you saw the Scherzer nudging him about leading the guy off with a curveball.
Mm-hmm.
So in his start on Sunday, Thomas Naito was behind the dish and like I guess like gave him a nudge about like how he won't throw back-to-back curveballs, and he started a guy off with back-to-back and then just started laughing on the mound. Like he's on a different planet than everyone else.
He's just playing
He's on a
games.
different
It's
planet
awful.
than everyone else.
Oh, that's
He is
awesome.
so good. He is so good. I think I have nothing to back this up, but I think he goes out and he'll be like, "Oh, the third inning, I'm only going to throw the left side of the plate," and then he'll still strike like 2 out of 3 guys out.
Yeah, it's,
I mean,
He's
it's
like, "Oh, I'm
Larry
only gonna
Bird
throw the
being like,
half
I'm only gonna score with my left hand this game, and drops like almost 40 on your head.
Right.
It's like,
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's just not right.
yeah. To have that
But I'm with you, Nick. I think he's the
caliber
wild
of
card.
stuff with that pinpoint. Yeah, absolutely. He's got to stay on the field. The Mets are going to hit this year. Like with everything the Mets have brought in, everyone forgets that Francisco Lindor's in the middle of that lineup, and he's not going to have a year like he did last year.
No.
Yeah.
Jeff
And he looks really
McNeil
good in spring
rakes.
training so far.
Right, Jeff McNeil rakes. Pete Alonso. I mean,
that's-
dude, talk about a lineup, dude. That lineup's going to be disgusting.
Let's be serious. If the Mets, I mean, I have the Mets making the playoffs, and I have the Mets probably. In my mind, the Mets make a lot of noise in the playoffs. But if the Mets are in the playoffs, and you're any team in the NL looking at that matchup coming to town with those pitchers, I would be pissed that I'm going to spend the next 5 games facing those guys.
Yeah.
And let's not sneeze on the fact that they went out after the lockout ended. They went and traded for Chris Bassett, who was a solid number 3 starter.
Oh
a
yeah,
solid number 3
Solid.
starter. And your number 4 is Taijuan Walker, who had a
He's an
great year last year.
all-star.
Their only all-star.
I know.
It's like ridiculous,
So,
dude.
I mean,
If-
that pitching staff, if they stay healthy, that pitching staff
Oh, yeah.
is gonna carry the
Lights
National
out.
League.
Yep.
Lights out. I agree.
Scary. We may
Yeah.
not. If those guys are healthy, you may not ever come
That's-
across a better rotation top to bottom than that.
that really is scary hours for a team. Like, you enjoy trying
so
to hit
bad.
that. Like,
And then,
Yeah.
by the way, you're going to come to Flushing, New York in October when it's like 44 degrees. Oh yeah, enjoy hitting those guys in that weather.
it's beautiful
Like,
fall
that
weather, man.
blows.
Yeah, a wooden
Yeah,
bat
exactly.
and those pitches that move like that.
Yeah,
Forget it.
no.
People, these
Oh.
guys are going to be going through bats left and right.
Yep.
Ugh,
Oh yeah.
no thanks, dude.
If
Yeah,
I
it's
see
like,
the Mets
Coach,
on the
can you put me
schedule
down at
next, I'm
AAA
pulling
for
a
a week?
hammy.
Yeah. Yeah.
just take me
let
off the
know.
40. Just take me off the 40, man. I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
It's too
Yeah, for
cold.
the next
Avoid
3
your
days,
contract,
for the next
I don't
3 days,
care.
I'll be in the clubhouse.
Yeah. Yeah, my shoulder, like, it's killing me. I should probably take a couple days off.
Yeah.
But Morgan did not.
I'll
put
be good
down
when
a
the Mets
winner.
leave town. Don't worry.
Morgan didn't put down a winner, so I'll have to get that from him. So I'm just gonna pick one for him. We'll go with the Pirates for him.
Who did he have?
Good
He had the
choice.
Phillies and the Blue Jays, but he didn't tell me who.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said that. You said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Picking
give him
the
the
Blue Jays.
Give him the Blue Jays. So him and Nick have the same World Series pick. It's perfect.
Okay. Awesome.
They can be in harmony since they didn't want to show up together.
All
I feel
right.
like
Did
he might have posted that on the Facebook page and said he was taking the Jays.
I do think he did.
He might
actually,
have.
yeah.
Okay. I just didn't check it. All right. So everybody get in their picks or no? I'm gonna have a
Yep.
fun time trying to dissect this and put this in a spreadsheet. We have been
Yeah.
anywhere and everywhere.
No, here's the thing. Just make Morgan do it. Morgan's got spreadsheets for us. Make him do it. Make him
Done.
go back, listen through the episode,
Done.
Yep.
and do all the picks.
Okay.
I like it.
Sounds good.
I just
Morgan,
heard
it's
him
on you, bud.
volunteer. Did you hear that?
That's his punishment, you know?
Yeah. All right. So we are going to move on to the awards predictions here. This is going to be a fun one because I think we're going to have some different picks in here. So let's start with the NL Rookie of the Year, the Roy, the NL Roy. Who do we got, Matt?
Nick has Joey Bart.
Okay.
And then I have, let me get over here. O'Neal Cruz. I believe he plays for the Pirates.
O'Neal Cruz is
Yeah.
a good one. Yeah,
Yes.
that's he's gonna have a
Six-
hell of a year.
A 6'7" shortstop. I love it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
The guy's huge.
so be able to cover a lot of ground, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they played him in left field today. He actually did all right. They're trying to find some positional flexibility for him so they can move him around and keep him in the lineup.
Yeah.
Dude, put him at first base. Nothing's going to get by him. He can just go like this and cover the entire base.
He's
path.
too athletic. If you watch that guy move, he is an absolute physical freak.
Too athletic. That was a backhand compliment to me saying I'm not athletic because I played first base. Backhand
No, yeah,
compliment.
I mean-
I resent that.
I mean,
I
if the shoe
absolutely
fits.
resent
I
that.
mean,
Resent. I
I'm not saying it, but I'm also
No, I
not
mean-
not saying it.
Did the glass slipper go on the foot?
Yeah, right. It fit.
No.
Morgan has got, surprise, surprise, a Cub rookie. Brennan Davis is who he picked for NL Rookie of the Year there. Me, myself, for NL Rookie of the Year, I got Keibert Ruiz, who went to the Nationals.
Damn it, so do I.
You're welcome.
So do I.
Keibert Ruiz went into that deal with the Nationals with Max Scherzer from the Dodgers. He was actually up with the Dodgers, I think, but didn't qualify for Rookie of the Year because he didn't get enough at bats or something like that.
Is this like the Randy Arozarena thing where you can play 4 years before you qualify?
Yeah, he's actually still eligible this year, right? Is that what you said, Harrison?
Yeah.
Arozarena.
Yeah, you have to get 100.
He probably is.
Yeah.
You have to get 130 at bats, and he only has 106 at bats or something like that.
Gotcha.
So he's still considered rookie. He's my pick too, Nick. I think he's come up, and he at the end of the year hit pretty well. Had a couple of home runs in Washington after the trade, and he's going to be their starting catcher. I mean, they're leaning on him since day one. So I actually took him in the fantasy league too, so I'm high on this kid.
He's gonna have room to shine. There's no one there but Soto and him.
Right.
And Zimmerman's gone. I'm glad they're retiring his number. That's awesome. That's classy by the Nationals there. I mean, when you're called Mr. National, you deserve to get your number retired. I would think. But yeah, so he'll be good. Harrison, your pick?
I had O'Neal Cruz too. That guy is absolute freak. I think he's that home run he hit over the building to right at a pitch at his ankles. I was like, that's it, sold. Put him in the lineup every day.
Yeah,
that's how
I saw Richie Sexton do that one time.
Yeah. All right, so we got NL MVP.
Juan Soto.
NL MVP. I was going to say Nick has Juan Soto.
Yep.
And I have Acuna. I literally saw a video of Acuna on Twitter hit a ball 450 dead center and walk out of the cage and just say, I'm back. And I was like, I'm sold. He's winning MVP. Yeah. I don't think he's out for as long with that ACL. I think they'll get him back in the lineup as soon as possible. And I mean, especially for baseball, I think coming back from an ACL within, 10 months isn't a stretch. For him, he's super athletic, super young. He'll be able to bounce back. And he's also my comeback player of the year too, just because if you're going to come back from an ACL and go out there and win MVP, I think that gets your NL comeback player of the year.
I mean, maybe.
I
mean, it is the MLB, let's be honest. And the writers vote on it. So don't hold your breath.
That's
We
love the writers, right, guys? They're great.
Yeah, they're so good.
Morgan, go ahead.
Oh, go no, go with Morgan's.
No, you go.
All right, I'll go.
All right,
I've got Matt Olson, NL MVP. I think in that lineup with protection in that ballpark in front of those fans, I think he's going to have a monster year. I think he leads the NL in home runs, RBIs. I think he just goes nuts.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I don't mind that.
I like that.
Morgan has got the polar bear as the MVP.
Pete Alonso.
I like it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, talk about having protection in a lineup. That guy, I mean, you're going to pitch to Pete Alonso because he strikes out 200 times. Mm-hmm. But he's also going to hit 65 home runs. So, I mean, that's a solid pick. I do not disagree.
I don't hate it. Yeah, don't hate it. That's a good one. Nope. Kind of a player I feel like a lot of people have forgotten. He had
seriously.
He's been a little quiet the last season or two, and
all right. NL Cy Young.
Who'd you pick for MVP?
Juan Soto.
Okay.
Alfonso Soriano.
Maybe.
Edgar Alfonso.
That is a great throwback right there. Again, Nick and I are in step on this one. He's got Max Scherzer as Cy Young. I have Max Scherzer as Cy Young. Okay. I mean, I just really think with the Mets getting that wild card, I really think the pitching's going to carry them quite a bit. And Scherzer has just been dominant. He was dominant at the end of last year, and that's who I'm rolling with.
Morgan's got this. I was high on this guy last year. He's dirty. I don't know why Dave Roberts did not pitch him in the playoffs as much as he should. 20-game winner last year, Julio Urias. He's got as the NL Cy Young. I mean, this kid lights out, and he's still young. He's been in the league a few years, but he's
good player.
So him there. I got same team, different arm. I got Walker Bueller.
Me too.
You too.
Again, I hate the Dodgers, but Bueller is
Love Bueller.
he's disgusting too.
Nasty.
I
Yeah.
think NL has some great pitchers. I want to pick Jacob DeGrom. I don't think DeGrom. I think they're really going to take it easy on the arm. Not to say he's not going to have like the qualifying innings. I certainly think he is.
Right.
But I think there's too many good pitchers in the National League. I think is he the best pitcher? Probably, but I don't think he wins the award. I think Scherzer's up there. I'm going to stick with my gut, which I said to you guys in the text a few weeks ago. I think Carlos Rodon is going to have an awesome year in San Francisco. I think it's a tough division. Obviously you got Arizona and Colorado, but you're going against LA and San Diego as well. So not exactly the easiest division. But I think Carlos Rodon picked up that curveball last year in Chicago and like really showed you what kind of swing and miss he had. I mean, that no-hitter that he threw was incredible. I mean, but it was an efficient no-hitter. It wasn't like 135 pitch no-hitter, right? Like it was just a lot of swings and misses on the bat. I think he picks that up and continues that in San Francisco. So he's going to be my dark horse, but I'll pick him for the Cy Young.
Yeah. Ken says Corbin Burns. So back-to-back Cy Young for Corbin Burns. I mean, definitely not out of the question. That guy's filthy too.
Electric stuff.
It's crazy. Yeah. All right. So we got NL Manager of the Year. I got Buck Showalter.
Buck Showalter.
Morgan picked the Cardinals manager. He didn't even know their names. He just said Cardinals.
I respect it.
I like it. It's a good pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nick has Bob Melvin.
Great pick.
And I just got Dave Roberts. I just think the Dodgers are going to win that many games, and it's going to be hard not to give it to him.
Oh God, I think he's the worst manager in baseball. Next to
know.
Aaron Boone.
I'd rather give it to Kevin Cash, man.
I got Buck too, so I think all three of us had Buck, right?
Well, yeah, I think Buck is going to bring the Mets back. He's going to cut out all that noise they've had. He's going to bring that team back to a respectable level. He's going to manage DeGrom well. I think Buck Showalter is exactly what that organization needs.
Yeah,
couldn't agree more. Yeah.
100%.
I mean, we've talked about it before. Like, look what he's done with the Baltimore Orioles when he was there. You know what I mean? Like, he made them semi-relevant.
Yeah.
You know, like
look at what they've done. Look at what they've done since he left.
Yeah. Garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about our National League biggest fall off?
I was going to say Nick and I are in step on this, and I just think it's because we're not going to see him a lot. I think it's Tatis. I just you brought it up earlier. I don't know how much we're going to actually get to see of Tatis this year. It's hard with that wrist coming back with the type of swing he has and just the way he plays. So that's, my biggest fall off is Tatis, and along with Nick.
Okay, so I kind of copped out here just because I don't know if it counts or not. So this guy went from the NL to the AL. So I don't know if you guys want to count it, but I think Kevin Gausman is going to have a down year. Yeah, he's going to have a really tough year in the AL East. But he was on the Giants last year, so I don't know how that
terrible
works
in Baltimore. Yeah, he was terrible in Baltimore. It wasn't until he went to the Giants. Yeah, I agree.
But he was nasty with it. But does he count as an NL fall off if he's going to the AL? Yeah, or does he have to stay?
We'll allow it. It's our show. We'll allow
it. Okay, good. Okay. Because the backup I had is Bryce Harper. So, and here's my thinking on that is with all the additional pieces, I think he folds underneath the pressure of having to win with that team. And I buy it. Yeah, I mean that's just me. So those were my kind of two, but yeah.
Yeah, I agree with the comments about Tatis. I worry that you're not going to see much of him at all this year, and when you do see him, he won't be that effective. But my pick was actually Freeman. I think Freddie Freeman in Los Angeles, I think he'll be okay. I don't think he'll be the Freddie Freeman we all know. I don't think that ballpark caters to him as well. I don't think playing out in LA is going to be a great fit for him. I feel like what he had in Atlanta with the camaraderie and the way he fit into that organization, he's just another guy on that roster now, and I just don't know how that matches up for him. So,
Yeah. Brian makes a good point here. Jonathan India, no protection, sophomore slump. I mean, those are both
That
Yep.
poor guy.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
fair.
Yep, that
I think
equation
that's
adds
fair.
up to terrible.
Sure does.
Yep. I
Yeah.
got. I'm probably going to catch some heat for this one, but when I say biggest drop off, I don't think he's going to be terrible. I don't think he's going to be, people talking about getting rid of him. I think Corbin Burns is going to take a real step back this year. I think his stuff is nasty. I think the thing with Corbin Burns, the guy didn't even approach 200 innings last year. And I get they have a deep rotation. I get Woodruff is nasty. I get Peralta's there. But at a certain point, like, your number one guy has to put his nuts on the table and be your number one guy. And I'm going to need you to – you don't got to throw 210, 212 innings. Pitchers don't do that anymore. But he had like 160-something innings, 167 innings he had last year. Like, that's nowhere close to ace numbers. The numbers were disgusting. He had that whatever record of 40-something strikeouts before his first walk
50,
or whatever.
if it was
The stuff
58.
is fine. The stuff is there. I just think teams are going to make adjustments. Hitters are going to step up into the plate, be a little bit more patient with them. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. I wouldn't mind being wrong on this, but I see Corbin Burns taking a little bit of a step back this year and kind of coming back to earth a little bit.
Well, and I think that's a fair point because if you watch Burns pitch, he's not a location guy. He's a stuff guy. He leaves a lot of pitches over the plate, but he's got nasty movement and velocity. He gets away with it. But there's a point to like you're saying, Sean, where he won't get away with those pitches like he did last year. So it might not be as easy.
Yeah. And then NL Comeback Player of the Year. Who do we got?
Acuna. Nick had Acuna. I have Acuna. I think if you're going to win MVP and you're going to go out there and do that, Acuna.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I really wanted to pick DeGrom for this, but I just don't think he's going to get – I don't think we're going to see enough of him to get there. I think he's going to be filthy and disgusting and all that, but I don't think we'll see enough of him to get there, so I have to go to Acuna.
I have Blake Snell. I think Blake Snell has a bounce back year after going to the Padres and like really, like almost like Billy Madison, like it's one of those flaming bags again. Don't put it out with your foot, Frank. Like
don't put it out with your boots, Tad.
Yeah. I mean, the year he had last year was horrendous. It was really
so bad.
I just don't see him. He's Cy Young caliber pitcher when he's on. I mean, and for him to have that big of a fall off, I don't think he'll have another year like that. So
yeah, Brian's got a good one here in Strasburg. Another guy people tend to forget a little bit about.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I did end up, Harrison. I did end up with DeGrom for comeback player. I do think we're going to see enough of him in that sense. Like, I think of 167 innings is enough for Corbin Burns to win a Cy Young. I think if he throws 150, 152, 153 innings and puts up Jacob DeGrom numbers, I don't know if it would be Cy Young worthy. He might get a few votes, but I certainly think it's enough for comeback player of the year.
Yeah.
And I do think they're going to be I think they're as serious as anything when they say they're going to stretch him out. So I don't think we get many more out of him than 150 innings. But I think he brings that one home.
Yeah.
I forgot to say the biggest decline for Morgan real quick. He said Christian Yelich. I mean, he didn't really have a great year last year either, did he?
I mean, guy doesn't really have a back anymore.
No, he's another injury guy, though. He can't stay healthy.
Right.
It's too bad. I mean, you look at the run he had there for a couple of years, and then he just kind of
he got paid, and that was it.
Exactly.
And then Morgan's comeback player of the year is Luis Castillo from the Reds. So Morgan's high on the Reds this year.
Apparently so.
So, but yeah. Dude, it's 61.
She's not yelling at you this time, Nick.
It's a tie game under a minute. UConn's got the ball.
Tie game with under a minute. Oh man, how are you focusing right now? And there he goes.
Yeah, not well.
Nick's a professional.
Look at that stone face right there.
Yeah.
No
How's he
reaction,
focusing?
nothing.
Not well.
Not well.
Oh man. Oh, there it goes. Podcast isn't complete if we don't drop Nick once.
Yeah.
All right.
So, really great point he was going to make with his mic right there.
I know it would have been money. We can't hear Nick right now though.
Uh-uh.
I actually kind of like the show this way, don't you guys?
I mean, you know,
Nick on mute. I don't hate.
I'm not trying to be the host though, so we need Nick back for that shit.
I don't know. Being the host, it's like, you know, you got to be a point guard. You got to dish it around. You got to make
All
sure.
right.
That's not me.
I'm
That's
back,
not
right?
me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're
Can
back.
hear you.
I got you.
Okay, goodness. And that's the show for tonight. Thanks for coming. All right. Anyways, sorry about that.
All right, on to the AL.
On to the AL. All right, here we go. AL Rookie of the Year. Morgan's got Addy Rushman from the Orioles.
Addy Rushman. Nick and I mean, this is probably the easiest pick out of the entire thing. Bobby Witt Jr. The kid had 33 homers and 29 stolen base last year in the minors. He's a stud.
The guy's got 33 home runs already in spring training.
That guy, he's like a Mike Trout clone. Like you watch
Have you
him
seen
swing
that?
side by side.
Yeah,
It's
it's
scary.
crazy.
No, I haven't. I'll have to look it up.
Look it up.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I will.
Yeah, he's nasty. But
Go ahead,
how about
Nick.
you boys? Oh, me. I got Julio Rodriguez from the Mariners. You're
Yeah.
welcome, Stacy. I picked the Mariners. I
Gotta
think
earn
he's
his
going to have a
points.
good year. And Mariners outfield's young. Kyle Lewis, him, you know,
Mhm.
I think that'd be good. So
Yeah.
Julio Rodriguez.
I think Witt Jr. I think Bobby Witt's going to have a great year. I mean, he's the favorite to win it for a good reason. But I think Spencer Torkelson for Detroit is going to have a hell of a year. I think Detroit's going to have a better year, as I've been very vocal about that tonight, and I think he's going to be a part of it. So I think I'm going to pick him to come home with that.
It's a good pick.
Good pick. I've also got Rushman from the Orioles. I think Witt Jr. is kind of a monster year, and I think he's the favorite for a good reason. But I do think, Rushman kind of projects as a maybe once in a generation type catcher. So I'm looking forward to seeing that guy on the
Yeah,
big
well, I
stage.
mean, they had one in Matt Wieters, and that worked out so well for them before. So hopefully
Yeah,
they can do
that's
something
the-
a little bit different
That's
with
what
Rushman.
scares me the most about Rushman is that he's coming up through an
Right.
organization that sucks at developing players.
Right? I mean, Matt Wieters is the perfect example. That guy was supposed to be,
Oh,
the next Pudge.
right. They've ruined him.
Sorry, Nick.
We missed a 3 at the buzzer. It's tied. It's going in overtime.
Oh man.
Oh, good Lord.
So we have more of that.
All right,
Sorry.
what's next?
Yeah,
AL MVP. Here we go. It might be
yeah.
unanimous across the board here, or between two people, but I have a sleeper MVP. Morgan's got Vlad Jr.
Nick's got Vlad Jr.
Who do you got, Matt?
I got Mike Trout.
Ooh, nice.
All right.
Oh, interesting.
I think and again, it's kind of my same thing with Acuna. I think they're coming back, and I really think Trout, he's heard enough about, him being injury bug and not being able to stay healthy. And I really think if the Angels are going to make that push, I really think it's going to have a lot to do with Mike Trout coming back and playing really
I'd
well.
love to see Mike Trout win it. I would love to see Mike Trout win it.
Yeah, that means we got a full season of Mike Trout. So
Mhm.
Right.
Which
Exactly.
We haven't gotten in years.
Years, yeah. And I think, in the baseball terms, he's due for one, and
Yep.
these great
Mhm.
athletes, you see this happen, they get hurt for a couple of years, and then every once in a while they come back and have a full year, and they just remind you who they are. And I think Trout's going to do that this year.
yeah.
Good pick.
Who do you got, Harrison?
I got Vlad Jr. I've been on the Vlad. I thought he was the MVP last year. I've been on the Vlad
You
train
did.
since he came up.
Fair. Sean?
I got Raffy. I think Devers is going
All
to have
right.
an awesome year.
Oh,
Hey!
I liked it. I like it.
Two
I
scoops.
think adding Trevor Story to that lineup is going to do nothing but help this kid. A lot of times in spring training, we've seen him bat in the 2-hole quite a bit this year. I'd love to see him up there for the regular season. But again, I trust Cora with whatever Cora wants to do. I think he's an awesome manager. But I think Raffy's going to have a huge year, and I got him for AL MVP.
I like that.
I think what's
So
I love
go
that
ahead.
pick, but I think what's cool about the Red Sox this year is that for the first time in probably several years, they've got a lot of lineup flexibility. Cora can move guys
Mhm.
up and down all
Mhm.
around. They can hit in different spots.
I have Wander Franco is my AL MVP pick.
I've read a bunch of people are starting to call him
Okay.
out as a potential MVP candidate.
I've watched him in Durham the last couple summers.
He's
Well, not last
ridiculous.
summer, but that kid is legit.
Oh, he's
Like
so
he
good.
just looks like an
Mhm.
all-star. He came up debut, not even his strong side of the plate, and he takes Chris Sale deep. No, Erod deep over the left field wall. It's like no moment's too big for that kid.
No,
He's
so
gonna
good.
shine in Tampa
Yeah,
Bay.
I do think this,
He's hitting in a sandbox. I mean,
And
like
and I think the switch hitting is huge. The fact
absolutely.
that he can hit from both sides is a real, you know, you have like utility players that hit from both sides, like superstars hitting from both sides, is even more rare than and I think Frank was going to have an awesome year. I think it's a good call, Nick.
I think it's fair to point out that Ken is a homer. I'm just wanting to bring that up. He's got the Red Sox winning it all, and Devers winning the MVP. I'm just going to call homer now.
Damn right, Ken.
Yep. So I said MVP there. All right, AL Cy Young. Who do we got? Harrison, Sean.
I'm taking Shane Bieber. I think a full year of Bieber.
Nice.
That guy, his stuff is like DeGrom's. He's like next level.
Yeah, it is.
Messing with you out there. I think a full year of Bieber.
He's got great hair
probably
too.
a Cy Young winner.
He's got great
he does.
hair.
He does.
He's great.
And
hair.
his middle name is Justin too, by the way. Just if.
Oh, is it?
No, I made that up.
No,
I
it's
didn't know.
not.
Oh. Well, you were very convincing with that.
I know. I'm very convincing. Except for, to those who matter.
They were very convincing in their argument.
Yes.
But I also have Shane Bieber as well. I think of like everything.
I have
Harrison said.
I've got an American League Central guy as well, but I got Dylan Cease for the White Sox.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dylan Cease is going to have a hell of a year. Carlos Rodon goes over to San Francisco. Time for kind of Dylan Cease to really step up and grab the reins there in Chicago. Ended the season really well in September last year. I think he's going to pick up where he left off. So I got Dylan Cease.
Yeah, good pick.
Who do you got?
Nick and I both have Bieber fever. I mean, why not?
Oh, wow.
Morgan,
a lot of Shane Biebers.
Yeah.
Morgan has got another AL Central guy from the White Sox, but Michael Kopech. That's his pick. I mean, the guy throws 100. The guy throws 115.
I mean, if you could put it all together, man, boof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he went over in the Chris Sale deal, correct?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah. He was a Red Sox prospect.
Got him. Yeah.
Yep.
Correct. Yeah.
Moncada and Kopech, and I forget who else was in that deal, but yeah.
Yeah, I got to see him play in Portland. He was cool to see play.
Yeah.
He was a monster of a human too.
Yes.
Oh, physical specimen.
Yeah. All right. So now on to the AL Manager of the Year. I got Scott Service.
Service. That's a good one. Seattle. I got AJ Hinch again, following along with my Detroit theme night. I don't think he'll win it. I think he won't. I don't think he'll ever get the votes because of what happened in Houston. So I'm admitting I don't think he's going to win the award, but I think he will deserve to win the award. I think taking Detroit to where they're going to end up being at the end of the season, I think he's going to be a big part of it. I think he's a really good manager. All the other bullshit aside.
Okay. I think I got Joe Madden because I think you're going to see a big Angels rebound, and because of that, he'll get it. Even if he doesn't deserve it, because I'm not a big Joe Madden fan, but I just for some reason feel like that team's going to have a good season. Trout's going to be Trout again. They're going to perform well. They're going to surprise people, and because of it, Madden's going to get probably way more credit than he deserves.
I personally could not agree more. Joe Madden's my manager of the year for everything he just said. And then Nick also had the Mariners manager, Scott Service.
Nice.
He loved that pick of Scott Service, man.
It's so good.
Wow.
Great pick. AL biggest fall off.
I have Ohtani. And
I got Ohtani.
And the reason I say that is
that's Morgan's got him too.
I don't think he's going to have a bad year per se. No. He's just not going to do what he did last year. And anything besides reaching those is going to be a disappointment to the rest of the world.
Okay, so here's a quick question. Over under 50 home runs for Shohei Ohtani today?
Under.
Okay.
Under.
Over under a 3.00 ERA for Ohtani?
Over.
Fair enough. So the same season he had last year, 47 and a 3.14.
I don't think he gets over 40 this year.
Well, all right.
To be
I don't. I mean, with his batting average and his contact rate, he shouldn't have hit the home runs he hit last year. So I think when you look at him come back to reality, I agree. I think he's probably, maybe he gets to 40, but I see him under 40. And pitching wise, I don't even know if he holds up, but I'm not convinced that you're going to see that same performance out of him.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I have Marcus Semien.
Oh, so do I, Nick.
Marcus Semien had a monster year last year.
Yep.
And getting the big fat paycheck he got with the Rangers, I just don't think he has another productive year. And Rangers ballpark is, the new one's easy to hit in. I was going to say, if they were still in Arlington, it's But I just don't think he has the same. He doesn't have the same season as he did last year. So I have Semien.
And I think it's a fine season. Like I don't think he's going to hit under 200 or anything like that. But Nick, I'm with you 100%. I think it's Marcus Semien. I think he just comes back to earth with the what's the stat that we like, Harrison, batting average of balls in play or something like that.
Yeah.
It was just like that number alone almost got him in like AL MVP conversations last year.
Right.
Like he was just so much better than everyone else, and he was like Gold Glove material on defense. I just think he comes back to earth a little bit. I think he has a good year, a fine year, but I don't think he does what he did last year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Fair.
Did everybody go? Yeah, Ohtani was.
I think so.
Pretty unanimous. Okay. AL comeback player of the year.
Trout,
MVP.
Morgan has got Trout as well. I have Alex Bregman coming off wrist surgery.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have the ultimate.
He looks
homer
good this
pick.
spring.
I got the ultimate homer pick here, Jackie Bradley Jr. Only because I want him to do so well coming back.
I know.
We need him.
God, I hope he does.
I want him to win a Gold Glove in right field. I want him to hit like 270, which is not crazy, but for him that's great. And I want him to put like 25 balls in the seats. Like that's what I want so bad from Jackie Bradley Jr. Even though that's not crazy comeback player of the year numbers either. But I want that.
I love JBJ. How can you not, man? After that playoff
so
run,
bad. And he belongs here. He never belonged. Out there. He belongs here.
One of the craziest baseball videos of all time is him standing at home plate at Fenway and throwing it into the center field bleachers.
Oh my God.
420 feet away, dude.
I remember watching him warm up a couple of years ago. It was Patriots Day. I was there for the day that they had the marathon. He was in center field and he was throwing the ball to left field. And I was like, what a fucking rocket for an arm. Holy shit.
It doesn't it defies physics. It doesn't make sense.
No, honestly, no hump on that throw, none.
No, it's you see like certain guys like that, whether it's football or baseball. Like one of them's like Vic, like the ball just popped out of his hand. It's the same with Jackie Bradley Jr. Just pops out of his hand, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, just different. So that's my pick. It's completely unrealistic, but I want him to do so well in Boston so bad.
I love it.
That's my favorite pick of the whole night, honestly.
I love it. And the thing is, if JBJ does that Red Sox team is probably going to win the AL East if they get that kind of production out of him.
If he does that, they might win more games than they won in 2017 or 2018, whatever year they beat the Dodgers. They won 100 something games. They might, if Jackie Bradley does that this year, they're going to win 108 games.
You're talking me into switching my World Series pick to the Sox over the Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean that's great.
Throw in Steve Pearce and I'm sold.
Right.
Amen.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how all our picks turn out here. But before we go, did you guys see that we texted a little bit? I heard you guys talk about it last night, Matt. The Texas Tech kid of the walk-off steal of home plate and then hits the walk-off grand slam the next night, like against Texas, like not against Appalachian State. Like
one's down.
Yeah, dude. Like that pitcher didn't even make an attempt to throw him out at home. Had no idea that guy was going.
Just pissed down his leg. He pissed down his leg. The moment was too big for him.
Unreal. That was crazy.
How does a guy get 3/4 of the way down the line to home plate before anybody in the ballpark, anybody on the team, I should say, realizes he's running? Like, how does that happen?
Like,
you see the guy on second base already. His hands are up. Like. And the play's not even like
unreal.
I mean, I obviously hindsight being 2020, it's easy to say this, but like I was watching that game on Friday night, and I like how he like if you're gonna have the same routine, most of these like bullpen reliever guys have the same routine. That's fine, but your routine can't be a 4-minute stare at the ground as you're coming up to the set. Like that's crazy. Like you got to change that up a little bit.
Insane.
Like he walked that kid to start the inning. So what was the kid's name? The Texas Tech kid. His name is escaping me. The base runner there. But they walk him. He ends up he's on base, first base for the walk of the guy behind him. So I mean, essentially, the point I'm trying to make is this guy gets walked, and he's been on first base, second base, and third base for about 24 pitches. Like, of course, he was able to time it up. It was just heads up, great base running, but the pitcher's got to make an adjustment.
His name was Kurt Wilson.
Kurt Wilson.
Wilson. Thank you, Wilson.
Yeah, crazy.
Well, and then to stay on the college topic, Tennessee moved to number 1 this week. They are currently 23-1, and this past week they swept Ole Miss on the road
in Ole Miss.
26-7.
And Ben Joyce hit 104. Ben Joyce hit 104, dude. Like, get out of here, dude.
I mean, that Tennessee team is legit. They took the current number 1 on the road, sweep them, outscoring them 26-7, and took over the number 1 spot with a 23-1 record.
I will say State Wolfpack also swept Georgia Tech this weekend, so that probably knocked them out of the top 10 as well.
I was gonna say I did hear about Ole Miss. They have I believe a hitter that's like a D tackle for their football team. I'm a big football guy, and he just hits bombs, which is pretty sweet. Nothing better than just seeing a big D lineman just absolutely mash.
Dude.
Yeah, but so he's got
great hands.
Oh yeah, you look at your college top 10. Tennessee moved up to 1 from 5. Arkansas is at 2 from 3. Oregon State's at 3 from 6. Virginia's at 4, moving up from 10. Florida State's at 5, moving up from 7. Oklahoma State's 6, moving up from 9. Texas Tech's at 7th, moving up from 16th. Texas is now 8th, falling back from 2nd. Vanderbilt dropped back to 9th, from 4th. And then Ole Miss dropped all the way to 10th from 1st after getting smoked by Tennessee.
Yikes.
You don't see that much top 10 movement in a week almost ever.
No, but college baseball now. It's they're into the conference play now, so you're going to see some really good weekend matchups like what we just saw from Tennessee and Ole Miss, or from Texas Tech. Like you're going to get some really good SEC games, some really good Big 12 games. So definitely you guys should tune in. It's going to be some good college baseball coming up soon, leading into Omaha.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
It was certainly a crazy week in college baseball last week. It's going to keep being like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yep. So yeah, that's gonna pretty much do it. Anybody else? Anything else from you guys?
No, it's a lot of fun.
That was a good one.
This was a blast. I wish the other two would have joined us, but we'll have you guys back on for sure at some point here.
Most definitely. Maybe I was thinking maybe like a home run derby. We could do a live stream of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just sit there and watch some guys hit some dingers. That'd be a good time, I think. And again, thank you for having me on here and having us on here for all of our picks. We really appreciate it. And we're definitely making Morgan do that spreadsheet.
All right.
Love it.
Sounds good.
Sure.
For you guys that are following our bracket, we will conclude that next week. So we'll do the final 2 matchups and then the championship matchup. And then we hand out the New Era hat to whoever won the bracket. So
whomever.
Yeah. Whoever. Whatever. All right. So my wife's screaming. So it must be getting really good. It's 75-72 with 28 seconds left. So
she got fouled. God. Oh, wow. She got fouled on the 3. Oh,
I missed it. I'm behind it on my phone. All right. Anyways, we'll see you guys.
See you guys. Thank you again.